Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. There is a story that I want to share with you guys, and this message reads like this. Hello, my brother, how are you? I want to share with you my own story, and I am also asking for help from you guys. Okay, when I joined Facebook, this was when I was 16 years of age. So after I had joined Facebook, there was this other girl as well that I started befriending. She said that she was staying in the same neighborhood where I was staying. We actually got to know each other, and she invited me to her place. And when I was invited by her to her place, I then saw that indeed there are people that are really wealthy. At her place, there was anything that you can ever dream of. It was just there as a teenager. And I thought for a moment that this was going to change my life, me associating with her as well as associating with her friends. She then told me that we were supposed to go to the same university. I said that in the first place, we were attending different schools, and the school that I was attending, it was a poor government school, so I was not sure if I was going to pass. She said that she was going to assist me, and yes, indeed, she assisted me. And she was even paying some teachers so that I can get extra lessons at the place where she was getting extra lessons, as well as her friends. That was where I was going. My mom, when I told her about this girl who was assisting me, who was now like a sister to me, she said that this was an angel that had been sent by God so that she can bless our family. This was like a good time in the family. There was high hopes. And at the time when I found out that this was no God, but actually this was the devil's blessings in disguise, with all the things that my mom had said about God blessing us, I was even scared to tell my mom, because my mom, until she passed away, she was a strong Christian. So I didn't want her to start doubting God, because I thought that if I was going to tell my mom that these people that were assisting me, they were occultists, maybe my mom was going to start doubting God, because with the way that she had prayed over this issue, she had even told me that God had revealed to her in her dreams that indeed this was a blessing from God. So she was going to doubt herself, and then she was going to stop going to church, and that is not what I wanted. By the time that my mom passed away, I was 21 years of age. That was when my mom was taken by that occultic club that I had joined. I joined this occultic club when I turned 17, just on my 17th birthday. That was when I was made to perform some rituals which made me to join this occultic family. And I later found out that she was not even a biological child to the person that she said that this is my father. And there were a lot of occultism that was taking place. But when I was still 16, whilst I was in high school, this girl, she did almost everything for me. And I was even amazed at the way that I passed after our high school exams had came out. From there on, my brother, me and this girl and her friends, we went to the same university. Since I was the one who came from a poor background, whatever they wanted me to do, I was the one who would end up doing whatever they wanted me to do. By the time that I hit 18, they took me out on the night, and they told me that I was supposed to find a random guy, and the first random guy that we were going to come across, I was supposed to sleep with that guy. At that time, I had not yet lost my virginity. So we got into her car and we started driving on the highway, and we never met anyone. Then along the way, that was when we saw this other man. He was just sitting at this bus stop. This man, from the onset, I saw that this man, he was not a normal guy. It was one of those guys that just walk around the highway those ones that are mentally ill. So what I was supposed to do was to seduce this man that I didn't even know that was mentally ill so that he can sleep with me. It was such a big fight because this man, he kept on attacking me, yet at the same time I had to perform this ritual so that I can be accepted into the family. When I was being accepted into the family, I thought that it was just a normal family, but I later found out that this was part of their occultic practices, whereby they have to lose their virginities to men that are like mentally ill. And if you are a man, you have to lose your virginity to a woman who is mentally ill. That is the person that you are supposed to make love to, the first one. And even as for me, my first one was a man whom I never knew and whom I'll never know, who was the one who made it possible for me to lose my virginity. After that, I then went back into the car because they were waiting for me, and I felt so dirty. Mind you, we had traveled for kilometers. This was like an hour or so after we had gotten out of town, and we were just traveling at high speed along the highway when I came across this man, and they told me that I was not supposed to wipe myself or to do anything. We returned back home. And when we returned back home, that was when I noticed that there were a lot of cars that were parked at that girl's place, because when I was at university regularly, I was now staying at her parents' house. I was now like more like a twin sister. When we returned, we saw that there was something that was like a small party. There was no music that was being played. It was just people sitting, drinking whatever they were drinking. When we walked inside, I didn't see anything. Then that sister of mine told me that I had to go to the bathroom so that I can wash myself. Well, I went to the bathroom to wash myself, but when I was in the bathroom, that was when another woman came. This woman, when she came, she was wearing clothes that made her to look like a priestess, like a Bible priestess. When she came, she was holding a small metallic dish, and she told me that there was water that was in there, so I was supposed to wash myself with that water. I looked inside that metallic dish that she was holding, and I saw that there was no water at all. So I showed her the metallic dish, and I said, there is nothing in here. And she said that the water was going to appear. After she had walked out of the bathroom, I saw that there was water that just came out of nowhere. Just when I was washing my private parts, that was when I saw a snake. I saw this snake. The first time that I saw it, I thought that maybe I was just going through a vision, but this was no vision at all. It was happening in reality. From there on, my brother, I got so scared because I actually saw some creatures that were crawling from the walls. These creatures, they looked like spiders and lizards and other crawling creatures. These creatures kept on crawling until they had reached at the place where I was squatting because I was in pain and I was trying to wash the blood that was on my private part. These creatures, they came and they started crawling all over my body. One by one, they entered into my private part, especially that millipede was the one that was really painful, because as it crawled into my private parts, I could actually feel its legs as they were touching the spot whereby it was still painful. After that, that same woman came back and she was holding a very small glass. When Christians are in church, when they are drinking and eating the body of Christ, there are those small glasses that they use, the ones that will be containing the wine. That is the small glass that she came and she handed me that small glass, and she said that I was supposed to drink that small glass. After that, all the pain just vanished. I didn't even feel any pain at all. From there on, my brother, I started to hear numerous voices that were speaking at me. And after we had graduated from university, I was given a job at her father's company, even though he is not a biological father. After I was given a job, my duty was that we had to go around the graveyards, because there are some people who are occultic people, but I have never met them. These occultic people, they said that they require human meat to perform their rituals. So usually we go around the graveyards, and how we remove this human meat, it is not like we do it physically. We are taken by one of the priests, and when we are taken by one of the priests, one has to stand on top of that grave. They say that it is far much better and it is a quicker process if it is a woman. So we are only taken to the graves during the time when we will be on our menstrual cycle. When we go there, they just select whatever grave that they will select. Then we have to stand on top of that grave, desecrating the grave whilst you will be naked. So you have to rub your private part on top of that grave. If it doesn't have a tombstone, the better, so that when you are rubbing your private part on top of the grave, as the soil will be mixing with the blood that will be coming out of your private part, it will make the process to be much quicker. Then we will see that the body of the person that would have been buried on top of that grave, then that person will rise up and you will see them just lying on top of the grave. Then you just move. Then the priest and his other assistants, they are the ones that will know what to do with that person. All that I have seen is that whenever we go to the grave, when we return back to the several cars that we would have left at different spots, each and every assistant will be carrying a big pot that will be so heavy. I have never feasted on any of that meat. Our only job is that whenever we are on our periods, we are taken to several grave sites. Once we are there, then our duty is that you have either to kneel down or to do whatever, but all that they want is for your private part to get into contact with the grave, thereby desecrating the grave, and then the deceased body will just come out of the grave, and they are the ones that know what to do with the body parts. I don't know where they take them, but what I heard is that there are some occultists that come so that they can gather the bones, the human bones, as well as the human flesh, and they use it across the continent for their several rituals that they perform. I heard that this is like a very big market of people that are always chasing after the money that they are given by these gods and the goddesses. So in return, these gods and the goddesses, they require the human bones as well as the human flesh. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us. Some scary stuff do happen, and when you record such a story in an environment whereby you are all alone, sometimes you really feel scared.